Josiah has noticed a trend. When I have stacks and stacks of papers, that means Oz had a lot of bad things, sometimes good, but generally speaking,
9 times out of 10 bad.
9 times out of 10 bad things to say about said product. How many pages of notes do I have about the Marine, sir?
Just 2?
Just 2 pages.
Wow.
So, as you know, because you've been here before, the WWE Studio Slam has been on hiatus because we watched the Marine 3 and hated it. It sucked. It was so bad.
Bad.
So, Miz wasn't the worst thing in it. His made-up family was, and their love interests were the worst. But after that open rolls, we're going to talk about 2 pages worth of the Marine 4 moving target. Whether it's your first time here or you're a regular here at Mr. Super Oz, I just want to thank you for tuning in to the channel. It exists because I, Oz, from the channel Mr. Super Oz, I wrote a 68-page graphic novel called Everlasting Survivors. Volume 1 is called All Day Long. If you follow the link in the description of this video, you can get yourself hats, shirts, posters, all kinds of fun things. But most importantly, you can get the story itself. And the more people that pick up the story, the greater the chances are that there can be continued adventures with these heroes. If you could, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment, enjoy. Please say to the viewers what you said to me moments ago.
That tagline sucks.
It does. Now, it's accurate because Genius Girl Who's Dumb, Liv, and Jake Carter are moving a lot and they are targets. But upon viewing of this film and its follow-up, that's how good this was, that I didn't hesitate and I watched the Marine 5 immediately. I had an idea, a vision, if you will. And I said, due to my distaste for the Marine 3 and the Marine 1, and how I thought the Marine 2 was just okay, I had this premonition, and I said, this is the saving grace. This is what they should have done. All you had to do, I said, I think the best thing would have been to move away from the Marine in title, not call this the Marine 4 moving target, but call this movie Day 1. Why is this Day 1, you might ask? Because we open with Jake Carter on
the first day of his job.
Correct. And then when we go to the Marine 5 Battleground, it is the first day of
his job.
A new job. And so in my mind, the perfect solution to the problem of me not wanting to watch the Marine 4, 5, and 6 is don't call them the Marine when these movies are, in this case, not bad at all. It's just fine.
Well, my thing is that these movies are called the Marine, but the fact of the matter is, like, he just kind of says he's a Marine, and we're just kind of supposed to roll with it. There's no indication that he's actually a Marine.
Correct.
Like,
and that the same goes with 2. 2 didn't do anything Marine-y.
No.
He was on vacation.
Yeah. Which okay, fine. But,
and in the first one, he gets fired from being a Marine. Yes. But once a Marine, always a Marine.
I was about to say, at least we saw him be a Marine.
Correct.
Was my point.
So
that one.
Speaking of things you see, so as the movie is playing out, starting up, during those opening credit sequences, the screen says "Once a Marine, always a Marine," which is a very common saying among the Marine types.
Actual Marines, yes.
But what it does is it pops in my head, man, what if at some point, now I don't know if they do it, but because I haven't watched the final one yet, but what if John Triton, Joe Linwood, and Jake Carter all teamed up? Spoiler, that does not happen in this film, but it was just something that crossed my mind because when you say once a Marine, always a Marine, and then you have a franchise with multiple Marines, I was like, oh man, that would have been a fun route to go.
Would have been a smart idea, which is why they didn't do it.
Right. But yeah, it was just a thought that crossed my mind because
would have been fascinating.
Yeah, it would have been, yes, especially given the growth of John Cena from the Marine original to
what he is
2015 when this thing came, because this thing came out in 2015 and ran an hour and a half. Although I swear 10 minutes of that hour and a half is just credit, so probably 120 more accurately.
Yeah, in the ballpark.
Yeah, I actually have complaints about first the opening credits where they keep popping up.
Well, before we even get that far, I have a complaint about the poster.
Oh, okay.
Because on that cover was the Mariz and
the Mariz. The Mariz. That's good. That's good. I like that. On. Yeah.
The Mariz and his and Summer Rae.
Correct.
So from that cover, right, I go into this movie thinking, okay, they're gonna probably team up. I'm thinking, like, okay, I'm hearing about this Liv girl. Summer Rae's probably Liv, right? Oh. No, she's not. She isn't Liv. She's
so Liv is
sorry, you go.
Liv is from a TV show called Manifest, where this flight gets lost and then comes back, and all the people on the flight don't age, but then they come back, and it's questions.
You know what I've seen the show.
And then she also did some work in DC Legends of Tomorrow.
Yes, sorry on that.
But here's the real deal. She's actually, even though she's from those TV shows, made for. Have you ever watched the show Scorpion?
I have not.
It's freaking great. Don't watch the end though, because the last episode has a terrible. It's an unresolved climax.
Okay, it's one of those
sad times.
That sucks.
I would love for him to get a movie, but Liv's character is made for Scorpion or The Big Bang Theory because she is one of the dumbest smart people that you'll ever meet and one of the most impolite smart people you'll ever meet. Now, I do.
No, that sounds like Big Bang Theory.
I do understand that that's kind of a trope of the smart person when it comes to media. Is that they're just kind of not nice. And they think they're better than everybody, but I didn't like it. And speaking of not liking it, I didn't like how they wasted time with the credits, basically showing me a Marine commercial for 5 to 10 minutes with all these sloganeering things, when what they could have / should have done is not show him in bed in his underwear, getting up, taking a shower, brushing his teeth, but just going off to his first day on the job, and then pop up all the verbiage, directed by whoever, produced by this such and such,
etc.
Because we see it all the time, especially on TV, but movies too, where the title stuff pops up on screen. Like I can do it right now. I can put any words I want right here, under me, next to you, over there, whatever. But I always get bugged by these little things because it's a waste of time and it makes my attention.
Especially when your runtime is less than an hour and a half.
Correct, and it makes my attention span.
What are we talking about?
Exactly. So yeah, it wasn't a great start, but I will say this. It wasn't nearly as bad as its predecessor.
Accurate.
And overall, I think that it, while not great, this is no masterpiece. It's fine. It's a fine movie. It does all the things that it needs to do, and some of which it does well. Like, so I thought when Jake meets his former Marine friend, 100% this guy is going to be the bad guy. You know him. You have a banter back and forth. He's 100% going to be the bad guy.
That was the trope from the other 3 movies. So.
Right. And so when the Mr. DOJ, as I called him, takes out his old military higher-up, I was like, oh, okay. Good job subverting my expectations. Appreciate you. And then when that guy is then a dick to his Marine, or not Marine, mercenary, whatever you want to call them, underlings, henchmen, scrubs, there we go. And then they do what I consider, and by they I mostly mean the lead guy, but he leads, they follows. When the lead guy says, "You're not leading me around, Mr. DOJ guy," and takes out an entire police station, I was like, all right, that's some, once again, it's changing what I think will happen and then actually doing something better.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
The next step. Now, the next thing I'm going to compliment before I get there, I got to complain about another thing.
There you go.
We drag out on a chase that takes 1,000 years.
Oh, okay, that's took forever for you too.
This chase was ridiculous, but the upside about the chase, Jake Carter gets shot. I love when the babyface gets shot. So
an actual injury. He's not immortal.
Correct. So check this out. I actually, while typing this note, I looked at our friend Ahmed and I said, brother, if I ever treat one of my babyface heroes with kid gloves, come to me and say, hey, you know you don't like that. Because we were talking about this script I was writing up, and I was like, I hope this guy lives from introduction to the end of the story because I am treating him very impolite.
Yeah.
And
bully at this man.
and so I was like, but that's the way I like it. I want the hero to have to overcome something.
He wants to struggle.
The struggle. And so Jake getting shot pleased me to no end, and then Liv and Jake coming together to create an in the woods Home Alone trap scenario.
Oh, yeah.
While I didn't see it coming, I found it quite amusing. And hey, amusing's enough sometimes. Again, I don't think that it's good or great, but it is totally just fine. It gets a 3 out of 5 from me, and it was good enough to where that I popped on the fifth film, Battleground, or as I call it, Day 1 Battleground, and I was pleasantly surprised. How about you, sir? What was your overall thoughts on the Marine 4, or as I call it, Day 1?
It was fun. It was I gave it a 3 too. I didn't hate it. I honestly think what it was I watched this movie and I'm like, wow, I'm not actively hating this.
Exactly, and that's an accomplishment for this franchise.
Big time. Like,
I mean, that's why it took months for us to even get here. Is because
we didn't want to watch.
I had such distaste for the franchise of the Marine due to what they had put out before.
Yeah, we were taking our sweet time with this one. But yeah, like I said,
let me spoil something real quick,
Yeah.
or not spoil, but lay something out, a piece of information. There was going to be a time, because I make promises and I keep promises, where I was going to only be the only one who watched and reviewed 4, 5, and 6. And I was going to do them as an all or nothing, just me saying, here are my thoughts. Because I wasn't going to have Josiah or G or anybody else suffer along with me. It wasn't until after I watched it, I was like, oh, this is fine. Then I was like, oh, we'll go back to the original formula, one at a time. Because it surprised me.
Yeah. Like I said, I have my issues with the movie.
Of course, yeah.
Summer Rae somehow on the cover yet has little to nothing to do with the movie. Like, I don't even remember what her character's name was.
I thought she was introduced for a specific reason, and then I was proven wrong. Yeah. So I thought she was introduced only to be killed by Liv.
See, that would have made sense.
And I even notated it a few times. I was like, oh, okay, since she's the only female mercenary, she must be here for Liv to get her one shot in. And then when I was like, oh, never mind, we got Miz versus Summer Rae. I guess I didn't see that coming in a street fight in the woods. All right.
I mean, probably more entertaining than some of Miz's matches, depending on the day.
Definitely. Well, and no, not to be mean, but she wasn't putting out the good ones.
No. Well, I think at that time she was still dancing.
Yes, absolutely.
Maybe. I actually don't remember. When's
2015?
Maybe, yeah, actually. She might have still been with Fandango.
Probably.
Or Ziggler. One of the two.
Yeah. But again, anyway, it's just when things have been set to such a low standard, or the bar is
down.
So
I couldn't help but notice how you can't see it. That's how low the bar is.
Exactly. So they exceeded that low bar.
Yes. I actually got on screen. Good job. Right at the end.
I like it. But yeah, I actually look forward to doing the review for Day 1 Battleground, or as they call it, the Marine 5 Battleground.
I haven't seen it yet. He has, so
we will talk about it after this, because it is so... I have positive things to say. Thank you for watching, and come back all week for additional content. Thank you, Josiah.
Yes, sir. Take care, guys.